If you look here, this is my current Tervigon. I've ripped this off after I sanded it down and everything. I've got it pretty well shaped and sanded. So I ripped it off of here so I can make this next one without this one being in the way. I've got my gray stuff ready here, and I'm going to start kind of showing you how to make this one. It's pretty much just making a basic shape, and you're going to do a lot of sanding and that kind of stuff. I'm just kind of keep shaping it a little bit at a time, squeezing it if it gets too thick. If you think you got it pretty much right, line it up and see what it looks like. A few things to note about the shape of these things. If you look on here, they've all got this slight curve at the top, and they all have this sharp hook on the front and this gentle curve on the back. They don't just curve in, they also go back out a small amount at the end there. So those are the kinds of things you're going to want to be looking for when you're making it. Okay, and then you just kind of jam it on there to get it to fit around that bend in the carapace. It's going to deform a little bit when you do this. Let's just kind of touch it up while it's on there. You may notice when you put it on there that it's a little bit too big, like this one is. So I'm going to have to take that off and get a little bit more removed from it. Okay, so there's that finished one after I've shaped it and everything. It'll need to harden, and I've got a lot of sanding and work to do on it, but it's basically done. I'm going to go ahead and make the last one, and I'll finish this video up with showing you how to sand and detail one of them, and then I'll show the finished model. Okay, I just got a quick minute here. I just want to thank you guys for supporting my videos, for watching my videos, for commenting and everything. About 10 minutes ago, my video views hit 3,000, so that's pretty exciting. So thanks a lot for watching. Very quickly, I'm working on the Tervigon some more. If you see here, this is the first finished spire that I showed you. This is the second one. Haven't sanded it yet. The top of it was too thin, so I just kind of rolled up some gray stuff in a line, put it around the top, and then kind of pulled it down to add to that. And then this third one, the small one here, is still very, very not hardened yet. So I'm going to wait till it hardens a little bit more before I shape it and put it onto the back of it. Okay, so I've put on the leg here, as you can see. I just kind of put some gray stuff on there, jammed it in there, and kind of held it in place a little bit. So you can see now that he's kind of to the point where you can tell what he's going to be looking like here. Get the head in there. So you can kind of see how that's going to look. Up here, I just kind of took the clippers and cut these pieces that were sticking way out. It just didn't make sense for them to be out as far as they were. I just kind of left them there at the time. I'm going to clip this piece a little bit, just so that it doesn't stick out into the neck area as much. This is the middle spire that I showed you guys that I was making after I've sanded it down. As far as what I did for sanding it, I basically just get this on the edge here, take this, the spire, and just kind of put the curves around the corner and go back and forth, sand it down, and then kind of, so when you got the edge here, you're kind of just going across like this to keep the curve, and that'll get that nice curve in there. On the top, it needs to be flat, and it also needs to have that arc to it, so I kind of went up and down that. That's basically all you do for it, is just go around on the corner of a table with the sandpaper and get those curves in there. So I'm going to show you how to add some of the details onto this. There will still be more details I do later, but the main one is the hole in the top of it. I'm not sure how well you can see this, but I'm basically just going to carve around the outside, around the very inside edge here. Even if it's just a little bit at a time, just make sure you don't slip and cut yourself, which I'll probably do since I have it on camera, of course. If you just have to do a little bit at a time to avoid cutting yourself, then that's what you gotta do. I would recommend not doing this on video, because then you can set it on the table so you don't kill yourself. But I kind of want to give you an idea of how this goes. So there's the very beginning of it. I just took one little chunk out there, and you just want to keep going around the very inside edge, just taking a little bit out at a time, whatever you can do. Okay, I still have a little bit left to do, but maybe you can see that, yeah, it's mostly done. I cut through an accident in a few spots, so I just glued the part I sliced through back in place. To do these details here, all you need is an X-Acto knife, and you're just going to cut a few little notches, just straight down, and then come in on an angle right next to it, and I'll cut a little notch in there. That's really what you're looking to do, just a few of them. Don't make them too big. Do one or two bigger ones, and the rest even smaller. Typically, some small ones right next to some big ones is what looks pretty good. If you have any, if you need help thinking of how it will look, just take a look at the actual model itself. Anywhere on these edges, or like these pieces of parts on the carapace, is the look you're going for. So you're also going to be carving in some on a really extreme angle going down the side of this, but not all the way through it. Let's see. So once you get in a few of these kinds of things, you just want to make a few along this. Here's the front piece here. Along these edges, going down this curve, just a few little small chunks cut out. I usually do about 3 of them. That's just to kind of replicate this kind of pattern they've got right here, and then we'll sand over it afterwards. Okay, so here is the Tervigon thus far. You can see it out there. I put both of the legs on, so one of them's still drying here. Just kind of a bunch of gray stuff. As you can see, the legs would usually go down here on the tail. Because I took this tail and took it from an angle like this to an angle like this, and also because I've added on all these extra rib sections, the body's about 1.5 times as long as it was. A creature like this would not be able to stand on legs back here unless its tail was the size of an elephant. So I've moved the legs forward, which would change its center of gravity and kind of put it more of a pivoting point. So next I'm going to cut off this tail probably here and model a new one going out down further with kind of a larger piece on the end to counterbalance the front part of it. I glued the head in place, and here's the finished spires. I think the last one here, in my opinion, turned out the best. The middle one I think is the worst, but there's the 3 spires on there. Kind of hard to see, but I think it turned out pretty good. And This beast is pretty big. I wish I had a normal Carnifex to hold him up to, but I don't have one with me. So, yeah, there's him with the 3 spires I've added on. He's probably 3/4 of the way done now. All of the hard work is out of the way. The 2 things I was most worried about were the ribs and the spires on the back, and honestly, I think they actually turned out pretty good. So there you go. There is your update, Steve. I hope you like the way that these spires look and the way it's coming along. Let me know if you have any suggestions, anyone. And that's about it for now.